Do you confirm that Vice President Robredo has good governance program also?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you
Your Honor.
confirm that under Vice President Robredo's good governance program, there is no confidential fund?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And
Your
would
Honor.
you further confirm that under Vice President Robredo's good governance program, there is no maintenance of safe houses?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Can you please cite the name? Who in particular among the key officials prepared?
Your Honor,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I wish to raise my questions to Ms. Villa Del Rey. Ma'am, you confirm that you are the Chief Accountant of OVP.
Yes, Your Honor.
May we know how long have you been working at the Office of the Vice President?
I was started in the OBP since 1990, Your Honor. I'm already in my 34th year.
1990.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you please share with us who was the Vice President then?
It was still Vice President Doy Laurel, Your Honor.
Doy Laurel.
Salvador Laurel.
My question for you, Ms. Villa Del Rey. Would it be correct to say that during the time of Vice President Duterte, there are two kinds of key officials? One are those who have been with the OVP for so long a time, like you. And the other kind are those who came along with the Vice President, either from the 𝐉𝐈 City LGU or from her electoral campaign. Would that be correct?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Kapag sinabi po ba natin na key officials who have been with the OBP for so long a time, tama po bang tawagin to na career officials?
Tama po, Your Honor.
And with respect to those who came along with the Vice President, either from the 𝐉𝐈 City LGU or from her electoral campaign, are these what we call the coterminous or confidential officials?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Just for the enlightenment of the committee, Ms. Villa Del Rey, can you please cite at least some names of the key officials of OVP who are career officials?
From SG24 Division Head, Your Honor, down to rank and file, Your Honor, all other officials are coterminous or appointed officials.
You said SG24 down to rank and file are career officials.
Tama po, Your
So
Honor.
would it be correct to say that if the officials are higher than SG24, these are the confidential officials?
Coterminous and confidential officials, Your Honor.
What is the difference, if there is any, between coterminous and confidential officials?
For coterminous employees, officials, Your Honor, they are, as I understand din po ito, is within the term po of the current administration or the current Vice President.
And how about confidential officials, if there's any difference?
Same coterminous, Your Honor.
So there is no difference at all between coterminous and confidential officials. As a matter of fact, I have observed that these two terminologies are being used interchangeably. Do you confirm that, Ms. Villa Del Rey?
For me, Your Honor, yes po.
Okay. With respect to the confidential officials or coterminous officials, can you please name some or few officials who were brought in to the OVP by Vice President Duterte?
Based on the positions, Your Honor, we have the Chief of Staff, the Assistant Chief of Staff, the Director for Operations, the Director for SMO, Director for Admin and Finance, and all other coterminous employees under the said officials.
Does that include the special disbursing officer?
Yes, Your Honor.
What salary grade is SDO?
For our SDO, for confidential is, if tama po yung pagkakatanda ko, is SG-24.
SG-24, but earlier you said if it is SG-24 down to rank and file, that is career officials. And if that is higher than SG-24, then that will be confidential officials. Can you please enlighten us on this?
There are positions po na SG-24, but they are not division heads under career or under permanent plantilla positions, Your Honor. SG-24 under coterminus.
How many SDO do you have?
I cannot recall, Your Honor, but we have SDO for various activities. We have SDO for confidential fund.
And you confirm that the SDO for confidential fund is Gina Acosta.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what salary grade is that?
SG-24, Your Honor.
SG-24 career official,
Non-career po.
non-career official. Ms. Villa del Rey, I understand that in August 2022, the Office of the Vice President requested for augmentation fund, which includes confidential fund. Do you confirm this?
Your Honor, may I refer your question to our budget officer?
Yes, please.
Mr. Kelvin, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I confirm that there was a request to DBM for the augmentation of fund of OVP in August FY 2022.
May we know, sir, how long have you been connected to the OVP?
I have been with OVP since 2014, since former Vice President Binay, ma'am. Mr.
Vice
Chair.
President Binay. So I believe that you are in the best position to answer whether during the time of Vice President Leni Robredo, mayroon din po bang confidential fund nung time ni Vice President Leni Robredo?
There was no confidential fund during the term of Vice President Leni Robredo.
There was no confidential fund during the time of Vice President Leni Robredo. How about during the time of Vice President 𝐶𝐆 Binay?
I am not a budget officer during that time, ma'am, so I have no knowledge. But per records, I think earlier years of his term, meron pong confidential fund.
Would you be able to enlighten us how many times did Vice President Binay requested for confidential funds during his term?
I cannot give definite answer, ma'am, but upon checking the documents available in the office, there was a series of correspondences regarding confidential fund. However, there is also correspondences reflecting to return or to revert back the release of confidential fund.
There are sources which say that Vice President 𝐶𝐆 Binay had confidential fund only once. But of course, this is subject to your verification.
I will check, Madam Mr. Chair.
I wish to go back to Ms. Villa del Rey, but I would not mind, Kevin, if you will continue answering my questions. She's temporarily out. Would it be correct to say, sir, since there are no confidential funds during the time of Vice President Robredo, and Vice President 𝐶𝐆 Binay only had once, would it be correct to say that the career officials of Vice President of the Office of the OVP during the time of Vice President Sara are not used or inexperienced with respect to confidential fund?
I would agree, Mr. Chair. However, we are always guided by certain circulars or guidelines.
And if you agree that the career officials are inexperienced with respect to confidential fund, there being no confidential fund during the time of the former vice presidents, to be particular, Robredo and Binay, would it be correct to say that it is the confidential officials of Vice President Duterte who are experienced with respect to confidential funds?
I have no information, Mr. Chair, with regard to the experience of the coterminous or confidential employees of this administration.
Do you know 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐆?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you know where she came from before she assumed her position at the OVP?
During that time, I think she was, previously, she was the city administrator of,
And would you know how long she was employed as city administrator in Davao?
no, Mr. Chair, I have no information.
But at least would you know how long was she connected with Davao City LGU prior to OVP stint?
I cannot remember, but during the first, I think payroll, of course, attachment of those documents are the service records, but I have no exact or number of years to tell the committee of Attorney Zuleika Lopez as employee of the Davao LGU.
How about Miss Gina Acosta? Do you know her?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you know where she came from?
Same from Davao LGU.
And would you know how long she was connected to Davao City LGU prior to her assumption of office at the OVP?
No, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I just want to manifest that during the previous hearings, we were able to present already before the committee the confidential funds of the city of Davao since 1988. And if my memory serves me right, during the time of then Mayor Sara Duterte, the confidential fund was 420 million, and then it was raised to 460 million until she finished her term as mayor of Davao City. Having this in mind, sir,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
would you agree with me if I would say that Yusek Zuleika Lopez and SDO Gina Acosta are well experienced with regards to confidential fund?
I cannot surmise, Mr. Chair, because I have no knowledge of their position or participation in the Davao LGU.
Let us proceed to the fiscal and financial plan. I hope you are in the position to answer this. May we request the Secretary to please flash the fiscal and financial plan. Based on this document, sir, the OVP requested for 250 million confidential funds. This is for the fourth quarter of 2022. Kaka-assume lang po ng opisina ng ating Vice Presidente. And this is for the implementation of the Good Governance Program. Do you confirm this?
I confirm the document, Mr. Chair.
And according to this document, the amount of 250 million confidential funds is supposed to be spent for a period of 3 months, equivalent to 90 days, representing the fourth quarter of 2022. Tama po ba?
I confirm, Mr. Chair.
And to be specific, that would mean October, November, and December of 2022.
I agree,
You
Mr.
confirm?
Chair.
And of course, you are aware also that the entire amount of 250 million was not approved. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And what was approved by the DBM only was 125 million. Tama po?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Considering that the program that was presented to the DBM for that 250 million is 3 months, equivalent to 90 days, representing the last 3 months of the year 2022. Tama po bang sabihin that with regards to the approved 125 million confidential fund, this is supposed to be spent for a period of 1.5 months, equivalent to 45 days, part of the last quarter of 2022.
I cannot I cannot tell that the amount of 125 million must be spent for 1.5 months, ma'am.
But at least, sir, if we will be basing it on the fiscal and financial plan, which presented the 250 million as expenses to be incurred for the last quarter of 2022, which is equivalent to 3 months or 90 days, if the DBM approve only one half, then it is reasonable to assume that 125 million representing one half is supposed to be spent in one half number of days of the supposed 90 days. And that is 45 days. Is that a reasonable interpretation?
yes, Mr. Chair, I think
It
that's
is a reasonable interpretation. Of course, we wish to manifest to the committee 250 million po ang request na confidential fund under the Good Governance Program. This is supposed to be spent during the last quarter of 2022. That is 3 months, equivalent to 90 days, and to be specific, the month of October, November, and December of the year 2022. Considering, Mr. Chair, that what was approved was only one half of the requested amount, that is 125 million, I wish to believe that this is supposed to be spent in one half of the presented period, that is 45 days or 1.5 months of the last quarter of 2022. Nonetheless, Mr. Chair, during our previous hearings, it was established already, and I wish to confirm this from our resource speaker, that that 125 million confidential fund of the OVP was spent only within the period of 11 days.
If we will base it on the date of check, I think it is equivalent to 11 days, ma'am, Mr. Chair.
Yes, and can we please flash the next slide? There. The utilization of confidential fund, 125 million, December 21 to December 31, 2022, and that is equivalent to 11 days. Do you confirm this, sir?
I confirm, Mr. Chair.
Now, let us look back to the 16 million portion of the 125 million confidential fund, which was used in the maintenance or rental of safe houses. This was liquidated by the use of 34 acknowledgement receipts. Do you confirm this?
I cannot confirm, Mr. Chair, because I have no participation or knowledge with regard to the disbursement or the liquidation of the
I
confidential
understand.
funds.
Can we go back to Ms. Villa del Rey? Ma'am, can we confirm that the 16 million portion of the 125 million confidential funds was liquidated by way of acknowledgement receipts, 34 acknowledgement receipts representing rental of safe houses?
I cannot confirm, Your Honor, since I have no personal knowledge on the disbursement and utilization of confidential fund.
Do we have a resource speaker who have knowledge about this acknowledgement receipt? There is none. Nevertheless, Mr. Chair, let this representation manifest that the records show that the 125 million confidential fund was approved for the last quarter of 2022, and 16 million out of the same amount was liquidated by way of 34 acknowledgement receipts representing rental of safe houses. And I wish to further manifest, Mr. Chair, that the lowest amount among the 34 acknowledgement receipt is 250,000, which was spent for 11 days, representing the rental of 22,000 per day for the said safe house. The highest amount of acknowledgement receipt, Mr. Chair, is 1 million. And if we divide this into 11 days, that would mean that the rental per day for the safe house is 90,000, way higher than the luxury hotels as previously presented and established in our hearings, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I wish to go back to Ms. Villa del Rey. Ma'am, doon po sa letter to the DVM for the request for augmentation fund, the purpose that was cited, safe implementation of various projects and activities under the Good Governance Program. Do you confirm this?
I don't have knowledge of the request, Your Honor. I only have copy of the letter.
Can we please flash again the physical and financial plan? At least, Ms. Villa del Rey, please confirm it from the document from the office of the OVP. It says safe implementation of OVP. I cannot read anymore. Would you know, Ms. Villa del Rey, if during the time of Vice President Robredo, there is good governance program also?
Yes, Your Honor.
And under Vice President Robredo's good governance program, may kasama po ba doon na maintenance of safe houses?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Then can you please enlighten us? Bakit po dito sa good governance program ni Vice President Duterte, may nasamang maintenance of safe houses under confidential fund?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Wala po akong knowledge doon sa disbursement and utilization ng confidential funds.
Nonetheless, Mr. Chair, I wish to manifest that although both Vice President Robredo and Vice President Duterte,
Congresswoman Luistro, maybe we can ask Attorney Sanchez because I noticed that her name was included in that document.
Ms. Sanchez, Attorney Sanchez,
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
do you confirm that Vice President Robredo has good governance program also?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you
Your Honor.
confirm that under Vice President Robredo's good governance program, there is no confidential fund?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And
Your
would
Honor.
you further confirm that under Vice President Robredo's good governance program, there is no maintenance of safe houses?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Please enlighten us. Bakit po pagdating sa programa, same program, good governance program of Vice President Duterte, biglang nagkaroon ng confidential fund, biglang nagkaroon ng maintenance of safe houses?
Your Honor, the budget was proposed by the Office of the Vice President, and it would be for different programs, Your Honor. But as to the details, Your Honor, I do not have information on the specific details and items to be spent under the confidential expense.
Would it
Your
be
Honor.
correct to say that the key officials of Vice President Duterte altered the menu of the good governance program of then Vice President Robredo?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, I think that would be a possible explanation, Your Honor.
And are they really allowed to alter the program?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, from my understanding, Your Honor, yes, that may be allowed because in the budget of the OVP, there is a general item, Your Honor, only, which is the good governance program.
In other words, Attorney Sanchez, that good governance program is just a nomenclature.
It's like
And as to what will be the menu under the good governance program, that will depend on the Vice President. Am I correct?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, that is my understanding, Your Honor.
And who therefore prepared the program of the good governance program under the time of Vice President Duterte?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, that would be the office of the Vice President, Your Honor.
Can you please cite the name? Who in particular among the key officials prepared?
Your Honor, I do not have the specific information on who the particular persons who prepared, but the request was submitted to the Budget Division, Your Honor.
Nevertheless, Mr. Chair, in spite of the admission of Attorney Sanchez that they can alter what is clear, the program Good Governance under Vice President Duterte suddenly include confidential fund and maintenance of safe houses, items which were never seen and which were never included in the program of Vice President Robredo. Am I correct, ma'am?
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Another important observation, Mr. Chair, Attorney Sanchez. Last quarter of December 2022, OVP spent 16 million for maintenance of safe houses. Do you confirm?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor.
May we know if any one of you has personal knowledge about this? Ms. Villa del Rey?
None, Your Honor.
Nevertheless, let me finish this manifestation. 2022 last quarter, the OVP spent 16 million for maintenance of safe houses. This was followed by 2023 first quarter, another 16 million for maintenance of safe houses. This was followed by 2023 second quarter, another 16 million for maintenance of safe houses. And finally, 2023 third quarter, this time 5 million maintenance of safe houses. The only conclusion that I can derive from 2022 last quarter to the third quarter of 2023, meron kayong informants or assets whom you are keeping in the safe houses that the OVP is renting. The question, however, is, why suddenly, pagdating ng last quarter ng 2023, wala nang expenditure for safe houses or not even for confidential fund? San po napunta yung informant at assets nyo, which you have been keeping in your safe houses from the last quarter of 2022 to the third quarter of 2023? Yun po ba inabandon ng OVP? Yun po ba biglang nag-disappear? I understand that you have no personal knowledge, but at least please give us a reasonable interpretation of what happened. Why suddenly, in the last quarter of 2023, nawala ang maintenance ng safe houses, which means nawala din ang informants at saka assets. Where did they go? Ms. Villa del Rey?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I cannot answer the question since I don't have really knowledge of the utilization of the confidential fund.
Attorney Sanchez?
Your Honor, I also apologize, same as the answer of Ms. Villa del Rey, Your Honor.
Mr. Kevin?
Say, Mr. Chair, I have no knowledge or participation in the utilization of the confidential funds.
Ms. Rabago?
Same, Mr. Chair. I don't have a personal knowledge on the utilization of the confidential
Ms.
funds.
Villa del Rey, can you at least tell us who has the personal knowledge over these matters?
Based on the JC and based on the issuance of cash advance, it is the Special Disbursing Officer
Who
as
is?
the accountable officer.
Can you please cite the name of the Special Disbursing Officer?
As shown in the check, Your Honor, it is Ms. Gina Acosta.
And apart from Ms. Gina Acosta, who else has personal knowledge over these matters?
I don't have idea, Your Honor. I
And you
don't have
confirm
knowledge.
that Gina Acosta, the Special Disbursing Officer, whom you described earlier as confidential official with salary grade 24, is one of those who were subpoenaed and who did not appear. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Thank you. I have nothing further, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congresswoman Luistro.
Yes,
Chair, Deputy Speaker
I just
JJ
want